Hello everyone, Jules here. Today I'd like to show a tarot deck that was published a few years ago by Schiffer. And I want to show this deck because it is quite unusual, and it's called the Kingdom Within Tarot. Here is the original Schiffer box. It was published in 2011 and it was created by Juno, Lucina, and the art is by Shannon Thornfeather. So it came in the original type of rather large boxes that Schiffer first started using. So here is the box. Here is the booklet. And it's quite an unusual deck. It's unusual for a few reasons. There is an unusual system with the deck. It is a type of Qabala deck, but the Qabala system that is used is very different because it is a reversed Qabala or Tree of Life system. So I was really glad when I got this deck that I already knew Qabala, because it is not a good deck to buy if you want to learn Qabala, because it is the only deck that has a reversed Qabala or Tree of Life system. So it's not a good deck to use for Qabala, because if you did that, every other Qabala book or Qabala deck would be different, and Qabala or Tree of Life is difficult enough for a lot of people to learn without realizing that you have learnt a system that is not used anywhere else. In the beginning of the book, it's mentioned that this reversed Qabala system is used, and by that I mean the Tree of Life completely in reverse, because it was created by an associate of Aleister Crowley, and Aleister Crowley was not happy with the idea at all and actually discontinued all association with this person who is named in the book. But I still don't understand why the creators of the deck chose that Qabala system, because it's just not recognised at all. But anyway, after saying that, the artwork is quite unusual, and it uses archetypes a lot in the deck. It has its own archetypes for the cards. With the court cards, it uses a Myers-Briggs indicator type system. So some people would like that, or may like that, for the court cards. So I'll just start by showing you the cards now. And the cardstock is quite good. It's glossy, it's a bit glossy. And I really like the cardstock in this deck, because it was actually probably some of the best cardstock that Schiffer ever used, but for some reason they didn't continue with that, and they started making thicker cards that were a bit too thick to handle. And they also started putting borders on cards too after this. I don't know why they did not stay with this format, because it was really good. So anyway, now to show you the cards. Here's the back of the cards. So it is reversible. So I'll start with the major arcana cards. Here is the Fool. It was actually the artwork that attracted me to this deck in the first place. But I just did not agree with the Kabbalah and Tree of Life associations. Other than that, it is an unusual deck. And for someone who wants something different, it might be a good choice. But it is very different. The Fool. High Priestess. The Emperor. Strength. There's some very original concepts for the cards. So Strength. Wheel of Fortune. I like the Buddha image in the middle. Quite a good death card. It has the soul leaving the body here. Temperance, showing a centaur for Sagittarius. Tower. What a good tower card. Star. The Moon. I like this because it's got the two fish which represent Pisces, because Pisces is associated with the Moon card, so I quite like that. Judgment, quite a good Judgment card, I like this one. And there's an additional card in here, because it's called the Kingdom Within Tarot. There is an additional card after the World card, and it's called the Kingdom Within All. And to me it's very much like the World figure in most tarot decks anyway, because it's meant to be a hermaphrodite, which is the figure on the usual World card in tarot decks anyway. But this one is for an extra card called Kingdom Within All. So there's some of the major arcana cards. I'm going to show some of the minor arcana now. This is the Nine of Wands. I quite like this image because it's a more positive image than most Nine of Wands cards. these coloured spheres on the cards are supposed to be useful to join up the cards or to learn about the Kabbalah system. But as I was saying, this Kabbalah system is a reversed system, so I don't find it all that useful. I did not find it all that useful when I bought the deck about 7 years ago. So anyway, 9 of Wands. Ten of Wands. It's got some key words at the top as well for the cards. The Centaur again. To give it a Sagittarius type of feel. And Queen of Wands. I really like this because it's representing the goddess of spring, which is Easter. A beautiful card. Now for the cups. Four of Cups. Five of Cups. And Page of Cups, which is the archetype of the fairy Puck from Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. So that's an unusual choice, but it is an unusual deck. And the Page of Cups has got an earthly kind of feel to it. The suit of cups in this deck has got a combined water and earth feel to it. The Page of Cups. And the size of the cards, by the way, are a little bit more like an oracle size, just so you are aware of that as well. Now for swords. Now I quite like the swords in this sword suit in this deck. Here is the Two of Swords, and what I like with the swords is that there's two archetypes in the sword suit, and this is one of them. It's a Harlequin type figure, and it's called the Lord of Misrule. And there's another figure in here for swords as well that I think is an Aztec deity. So the sword suit is quite unusual. Two of Swords. So you have the Two of Swords here and two people with the scales of justice for choice and decision. Two of Swords. Five of Swords. And Prince of Swords. In this deck there is Page, Prince, which is usually the Knight, Page, Prince, King and Queen. So the Prince of Swords is the Lord of Misrule again. For Prince of Swords, which is really the Knight of Swords. And now for the Pentacles. Pentacles has a figure or archetype in here too, which is the Lord of Time. So here's the Two of Pentacles. And the Lord of Time is really the Saturn or Kronos archetype. Two of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. I really like the image for this. And I think the key word for this one is discontent. So I really like this for the Seven of Pentacles, which normally means harvest or futility, I think. But discontent for this one. The tree in this looks like a Christmas tree, which looks like a Father Christmas type figure here, or a solstice figure. So I think that's quite a good choice for this Seven of Pentacles. And Prince of Pentacles. Which is the Knight of Pentacles. So there's some of the cards from the Kingdom Within Tarot, and I'll put the details below the video. And I hope people enjoyed seeing some of the cards from the deck. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.